We'll start with chanting Om 3 times, followed by the invocation shlokas. Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahanao Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Samasta Jana Kalyane Niratam Karunamayam Namami Chinmayam Devam Sadgurum Brahma Vidvaram Sadgurum Brahma Vidvaram. Because as we are starting as we are covering Drg Drsya Viveka, we'll chant the Mangalacharanam shloka. So if one of you wants to go off mute and repeat after me, the Mangalacharanam. Manisha, do you want to go off mute?
It would be harder for me without the book. Like, I need to actually see the words.
No. Thanks, Aditi. Rupam Drishyam Lochanam Drik.
Rupam Drishyam Lochanam Drik.
Tadrishyam Draktu Manasam.
Tadrishyam Driktu Manasam.
Drishyadhivrittaya Sakshi.
Drishyadhivrittaya Sakshi.
Drugeva Natu Drishyate.
Drgeva Natu Drishyate.
So here in this Drg Drsya Viveka, the author started taking us on a journey inward from outside. Who is the seer and who is seen? And then as we are coming closer and closer, whatever initially appeared to be the seer is also turning into seen. And finally, the ultimate seer is Sakshi. This was what established in first 3 or 4 shlokas. Then, now the question has come. So whatever is seen is only drishya. Drishya means object of experience, hence it is inert. Now, how do they appear to be Chaitanya? How do they appear to have Chaitanya? I mean, how does they appear to be sentient? How do you think that, how can I say that the eyes have sentiency? Because especially like if you have any object, a beautiful object, if it moves, my eyes move with that. If this goes, my eyes go this way. So this kind of thing is happening. So even though they are inert, they appear to have some kind of a sentiency. How did that happen? Because the Sakshi is Satchit Ananda Swarupa. It has got no rise or fall, and it is all pervading. But I am seeing different things, And all of these are happening within the scope of my eyes. My eyes meaning like my jnanendriyas and in my mind and ahamkara. So what is happening? So that was addressed in our last session where we said Chichaya aveshatah buddhau bhanam dhihi tu dvidha sthita ekahankara kruti anya syat antahkarana rupini. So chit, what happened is that it appeared as if a reflection of chit has entered buddhi. Buddhi meaning not intellect per se, but the whole mind. Now, reflection of chit, it is all of this is a poetic expression. We should not be taking it quite literally. Basically, reflection of this chit has entered in the buddhi. What it means is that the light of consciousness has passed through buddhi, and buddhi has ability to absorb because it is so pure, it is able to absorb that reflection. Because of that, what happened is that it started appearing sentient. When that sentiency has come, that sentiency has grouped into two parts. One is called as Ahamkruti, and other one is Antakarana. One has the doership, other one has instrumentship. Instrumentship means if I need to do something, I have to do something with some instrument. For example, if I need to write, I need my hand. So my hand becomes instrument. I may need a pen. Pen also becomes an instrument. I may need ink. Ink also becomes an instrument. So all of them are becoming instruments for me to write. So that instrument is called as karana. And the one who is performing this action is the doer. So a doer requires some instrument to perform an action. So this mind stuff also has been divided into two parts. One is the doer, the sense of doership. So that is what we in Sanskrit we call as kartrutva, bhoktrutva, bhavana. Kartrutva means I am the doer. Bhoktrutva means I am the experiencer. So that would be good experience or bad experience. So that kartrutva, bhoktrutva, bhavana is there for ahamkara. And now, what are those karanas? What are those instruments through which action being performed? Initially, at the next level, in the hierarchy, the next level of bosses, the team under this what is called Ahamkara is three people. One is Buddhi, Chitta, and Manas. Okay, so these three are the next level. Under them, there are 10 people. Who are the 10? 5 organs of action, 5 organs of senses. 5 jnanendriyas and 5 karmendriyas. Below that is the physical body, the entire physical body. This is the hierarchy. Now, so then what it says is that, now the question is that, someone may raise a question, this consciousness is all pervading. This antakarana or ahamkara is limited. How can that reflection of all pervading can enter into a limited object? So he said that entire World Trade Center or any big item that you can think of, right? It may be Eiffel Tower or Taj Mahal or whatever, like huge objects. All of them can be seen in a 2-inch mirror. Okay? Reflection of all of them can be seen in two-inch mirror. So in this case, this limited finite object here is that mind, meaning it's a mixture of Antakarana and Ahamkara. So now consciousness is all pervasive. Okay, so because it is all pervasive, again, it cannot, there is no space outside of it to reflect. So understand that this reflection is not in literal meaning. It is an apparent manifestation of consciousness in the limited mind. So this is going to be explained in the next verse. Okay. So again, as I mentioned in the past, there's a lot of poetry in Vedanta to help our mind to understand. So this is what they call as Adhyaropa. So that means that Adhyaropa means creating it is Adhyaropa is a methodology so that we can understand concepts better. So here they start, suppose, let us assume that, and then they go on, build up. However, there is a problem with logic. And then they poke a hole. When they poke a hole, the whole thing fall off. So this poking a hole, after building this Adhyaropa, is called as Apavada. So Adhyaropa is a student. You have a particular notion. Let us go with your notion first. And you start building up on student's notion. And see, there's a problem with this, and they burst that bubble, and then everything falls down. What does this help is that this methodology is used primarily in our Vedanta because the teacher doesn't want to refute what the student's point of view or what student's mind is thinking right up front. Rather, he wants to take him and say that I agree with you, however, there's a problem with this. So when that is shown, then the student will readily drop his thought process. But on the other hand, if the teacher says right up front, no, your thought process is wrong, then student is going to say, no, I don't agree with you. So that's why this Adhyaropa Apavada, meaning agreeing with the student's point of view and building it, and then creating a crack in the wall of ignorance, and the entire wall of ignorance is broken. So here, this Ahamkara, the concept of Ahamkara, the concept of Antakarana, they're all being used as part of Adhyaropa. Now the question comes, what do you mean Antakarana is not there or what? Okay, what about don't I have ego? Yes, of course I have ego. As in, I have Ahamkara, I have Antakarana, I have Karmendriyas, Jnanendriyas. This body is there, all of that is there, this Srishti is there, this world is there. But from a pure Vedanta perspective, there is a rope on which a snake is superimposed, and now all of this Buddhi definition, Ahamkara definition, etc., they're all description of that snake that is superimposed on rope. Later on, you'll understand that there is no snake. So everything that we had defined is just for the sake of entertaining student's mind, so that the student's mind is aligned with the teacher's mind. Okay. So with that, we are going to go to the next shloka, shloka number 7. Before we go into the shloka number 7, do you have any questions? So I'm going to break down the shloka number 7 because there is a samastapada, a lot of samastapadas are there. Okay. So chaya, okay, the first one is chaya ahankarayoho aikyam. That becomes chaya ahankara sorry, chaya ahankarayoraikyam. That's what becomes chaya ahankarayoho aikyam. 3 words. Tattaya pindavan matam. Pindavat matam. Big 2 words becomes pindavan matam. Then Tadahankara Tadatmya Yad Dehas Chetana Tamagat. So this has got so many words in there. What are those words? Tat Ahankara Tadatmyat Deha Chetana Amagat. So there are 6 words in that word. That becomes Tadahankara Tadatmya Dehas Chetana Tamagat. Okay. So Rajiji, do you want to repeat after me?
Yeah, sure.
Chaya Hankara Yoraikyam
Chaya ahankarayo ekyam
Taptaya Pindavan Matam
taptaya pindavat matam
Tadahankara Astadatmyat
tadahankara tadatmayata
Dehas Chetana Tamagat.
dehasta chetanatam agat.
Okay. So let us first understand what this shloka is trying to say. Let me explain the concept first, and then we go. Okay, go to the next. The question is something like this. Chaitanya, means Chit, is of nature of sentiency. Now, Ahankara is inert. Now, consciousness has, you said consciousness has entered this inert thing. Then what happened? How did this Ahankara start behaving as if it has got Chaitanya? So for that, an example is given. What is this example? Is like this. Fire, if you think about fire, right? What is the nature of fire? It is hot. Fire is hot. Okay. And what is the shape of the fire? It doesn't have any fixed shape of the fire. The shape of the fire continually changes based upon the amount of fuel it is able to extract. Say, for example, think about a light that you light in front of Bhagwan, in light as in like actually I'm talking about like oil lamp. If you light with some oil and a cotton wick, it appears to be very still. The light appears to be very still. Now, if you see some brush fire meaning like, some tree branches are burnt outside, you see like a lot of fire, like it appears to be very moving. What is the difference? Here, the source of the fuel is constant without any not a single ounce, no, not even ounce, not a single, I don't know, not even a milliliter, like a sub-milliliter less or something more. So it is a constant fire until the entire fuel is taken. Whereas outside, what happens? A leaf is burnt, and then it is trying to search for next leaf to burn, and in between the fire goes down, and suddenly it finds a bigger leaf, maybe like a collection of 10 leaves. Suddenly the fire goes up like that, right? So that's why it moves. So fire doesn't have a fixed shape. So two qualities we talked about: fire being hot and no fixed shape. Then now imagine a iron ball. Now this iron ball, if you look at it, it also got its own properties. It also says several properties. Two properties that we are interested in are: one is that in general, iron is cold. Okay, in general, if it in a room temperature, usually if you touch any iron, it is cold. So this iron ball is cold, and then it has a fixed shape. If I say it is an iron ball, it is iron ball, as in like it's a circular, spherical. It is not cylindrical. It is not conical or anything. It is spherical. That's all. Now, imagine if this iron ball is put in hot fire for a long time, as in like a really hot fire, and it is hanging in with some other iron chain or whatever, right? This ball is being heated in the hot, really hot, maybe like 700, 800 degrees, okay? Just short of melting the iron. Now, what happens is that if you take out this iron ball at that time, after burning it, I mean, like after putting in that fire for a long time, temporarily, okay, temporarily, as soon as you take it out, what happens? How does it look? Is it hot or cold? It is hot. So even though the nature of iron is cold, now it is hot. Now, it still has its own shape, circular shape. Okay, it did not change. But how does it look? Earlier, it was looking black. Now it is looking like fire. So it is like a fireball. Okay, it is as if the fire has got a shape now. Okay, so it is as if the fire got a shape and it is hot. So in this case, what happened is that there in that fire, in that ball, iron ball, there is a mixture of the qualities of fire and while retaining some qualities of iron at the same time. Right? This is what has happened. So this example is used to say that when Ahamkara, when the consciousness has manifested or reflected in Ahamkara, what happened? Ahamkara by default is Jada or inert. However, now it appears as if it has taken the Chaitanya aspect. So suddenly it has got sentiency. And iron, meaning as Ahamkara, it got Kartrutva and Bhoktrutva Bhavana. Chit doesn't have Kartrutva Bhavana or Bhoktrutva Bhavana, but again, it still retained that Kartrutva Bhoktrutva Bhavana from Ahamkara side. So now what happened is that there's a false I has started in me, and which thinks that I am the real me. This Ahamkara, which is inert, now it started thinking that I am the real I am the self. That is what it's thinking. And then it still returns, I am the doer, I am the enjoyer, and I am the real self. This is what my Ahamkara is thinking. So this is the summary of this particular shloka as we are going to go through word by word. Any questions on the concept? Okay. So, yeah. So Chaya, so what does Shloka say? Chaya Ahamkara Yoho Aikyam Taptaya Pindavan Matam. So Chaya. So the focus now is Ahamkara. Chaya is referring to, Chaya means reflection. So which is referring to Chit Chaya. Chit Chaya is what we are talking about, the reflection of consciousness. So the reflected consciousness and Ahamkara Yoho. Ahamkara Ahamkara is ego. Ego and reflected consciousness. Yoho is there, right? Yoho is dual. Okay, it is indicating dual, as in like a singular, dual, and plural. So that yoho is dual. That's all. Okay, it's a grammar. So Chaya and Ahamkara together. Aikyam. Aikyam means inseparable. They are becoming one and inseparable. Just like Taptayaha Pindavat Matam. Taptayaha means burning. Okay. Pindavat. Pinda here is referring to the ball. Okay. So here it is like it could like an iron ball in this particular case. So it's like the hot iron ball and fire has become one. And then what did it become? It has become red hot iron ball. Even the iron is black and usually cold to touch. And fire is never spherical and never had any weight. Now, as if it appears as if the fire also is having weight. Okay. So it appears as if the iron and fire has come together and they have become inseparable. Okay, inseparable, right? So this is called as mutual superimposition. Some aspects of this has come on here, some of the aspects of this have come on here. It is like a wedding. So when a girl is leading her independent life, a boy is leading her independent life, when they get married, what happens? Because they are together, some of the boy's qualities, girl will take, boy will observe some qualities of girl. They can be good qualities or bad qualities, it doesn't matter, but that's what happens, and that is what mutual superimposition has happened. So now what happened? This Chichaya has knowledge aspect and self aspect. Ahamkara has got Kartrutva and Bhoktutva aspect. So Ahamkara borrows knowledge and self aspect, and together they become one. And then who is I? Chichaya is I. And the Jiva, so the concept of Jiva is coming now, is that Chichaya is Jiva, and this knowing concept also is coming. And then it is saying, I know this thought is coming at this moment. Before that, Ahamkara doesn't know anything because there is no knowledge aspect there. In a real Chit, there is no concept of, even though the knowledge is there, there's no such thing as I know because there is no ego in there. Okay? But now, because of this a thought like I know has arisen. Why? Because this consciousness required a medium to reflect, and mind is providing that medium as Ahamkara. And now the Jiva is identifying with the doership, the concept of doership, and the concept of experiencership, that is Kartrutva Bhavana, Bhoktritva Bhavana, etc. What is the first line? Chaya Ahamkarayoho Aikyam Taptaya Pindavat Matam. Now the second line says that Ahamkara Tadatmyat Deha Chetanata Magada. Chetana Tamagat. So here, in this case, what happened? This Ahamkara, Tat Ahamkara, means that Ahamkara, Tadatmya. Okay, so there is a word called Tadatmya. What is Tadatmya means? Did you ever hear the word Tadatmya in the past?
Yeah, Tadatmya. So feels like that. Appears as, yeah.
Okay. So,
Body.
okay. So, Tat Atma Tasya Bhava is Tadatmya. So that means what happens is that identification with that as Atma, meaning like in a day-to-day usage, when do we use Tadatmya in a non-Vedantic manner is, let us say someone is listening to a song, a very nice song. Okay. So he's listening to this nice song and he's enjoying so much that he forgot everything else. And at the time, even though you go and call this person, he's not responding. So that is the time you say that he has become one with that song. He's in the Tadatmya with that song. Okay. Or the other word that is Tanmayatva is another word that we use. Okay. So he has become Tanmaya or Tadatmya. So both words mean similar. Tadatmya, in that case, what happened is that he is enjoying that song so much that he has become one with the song and he forgot his own real self. Tanmaya is that whatever that is, that right, that has filled him so much that he is nothing but that one alone. Okay, the song has filled his body and soul so much that there is nothing else other than that song in his body and soul right now. Okay, so that is Tanmayatva. So in this Tadatmya, so this is the word Tadatmya in day-to-day basis. Now, in Vedantic perspective, what happened is that what is Tadatmya is Tat Atma Tasya Bhava. So that means I am that Atma. Now, Atma cannot become that, okay, in reality. However, what is happening is that this Ahamkara, Tat Ahamkara Tadatmyat. So this Ahamkara, which is already become one with this Chit Chaya, now it is going to identify with something else. What? Deha. Tat Ahamkara Tadatmyat Deha. Now it is thinking that this body is me. So now when it is thinking that this body is me, now it is passing on that sentiency, which itself is borrowed to the body. So what happened? Remember I was talking about a hierarchy, right? Like management hierarchy, Ahamkara is there, then Mana, Buddhi, Chitta are there underneath. Then underneath, who are there? 5 karmendriyas and 5 jnanendriyas. Underneath, now the body has come. And this Ahamkara is thinking that I am this body also. Meaning like it is thinking that I am the mind, I am the intellect, I am all the 10 organs, plus I am the body. This is what Ahamkara is thinking now. Because today, as a layman, what do we think? Yes, I understand this is my hand, but if someone hits me like that, wouldn't I say, don't hit me? Okay. If I say don't hit me, that means what? I'm identifying my hand with me. I'm identifying my body with me. When my body gets tired, I'm saying, I am tired. So that means that I am identifying. Who is identifying? When I say I am identifying, my Ahamkara is identifying with my body. Now when I say I cannot see very well, what am I identifying with? I'm identifying with my organs of perception, jnanendriyas. And if I say I cannot run that fast, that means I'm identifying with my karmendriyas. I am feeling sad. I'm identifying with my mind. I cannot think straight. I'm identifying with my intellect. I don't recall. I'm identifying with my chitta. So like this Ahamkara has identification with everything else. Okay? So now the thing is that we also said that When Ahamkara identifies with the body gained borrowed sentience, I said. How do we prove? Simple. When Ahamkara goes to sleep, okay, does body have sentiency?
No.
Okay, so when Ahamkara goes to sleep, the body becomes completely inert. Okay, and if someone pushes it, it doesn't know. Okay, nothing unless the Ahamkara wakes up, the body doesn't know what is going on. So is true with the other karmendriyas, jnanendriyas, mana, buddhi, chitta. All of them are asleep when Ahamkara is asleep. Okay, so that's why the Ahamkara has got the first level of sentiency, and then it has passed through the rest. So this Chetana, so what happened? Tat Ahamkara Tadatmyat Deha Chetana Amagat. So Chetana means Chaitanya, the sentiency. Chetana Amagat means Agat means, so Chetanam Agat is, Chetanatam Agat. So Agat means gaining. So that is how the body has gained sentiency. So what is the shloka saying is, in summary, this Ahamkara and Chichaya, Chidabhasa or Jiva, whatever you call it, they have become one. Just like fireball and, like iron ball and fire have become one. And this Ahamkara, in turn, has identified itself with Deha, and because of that, the sentiency has passed to Deha. So that could be Sukshma Sharira, that could be Sthula Sharira. Now, remember, when you take that iron ball out of fire, how long iron ball can be retain that shape? I mean, it be a hot and like iron, hot iron, or red hot iron ball for a while, and afterwards it goes away. So that is temporary. So this Ahamkara life is there only with respect to Chaitanya. So apart from Chaitanya, it does not have any existence. This is something to understand. This condition of this Ahamkara and Chitchaya together is temporary only. This is something that we need to keep in mind. So before we go to the next sloka, are there any questions?
So when you say temporary, it means the life, essentially, right? Once a person dies, then they're not.
Yeah. So then there is no Ahamkara. So then there is, right? So that is something that part is going to be described a little bit more in the next sloka. Okay. So next sloka number 8 says, Ahamkarasya, I'm going to break down the words. Ahamkarasya Tadatmyam Chit-chaya. So there is Chit-chaya Deha Sakshivihi. So there is Chit-chaya Deha Sakshivihi. 4 words are there. Ahamkarasya Tadatmyam Chit-chaya Deha Sakshivihi. Sahajam Karmajam Bhrantijanyam Cha Trividham Kramat. Okay, so we are going to, please repeat after me. Ahamkarasya tadatmyam
Ahamkarasya tadatmayam
chichaya deha sakshibhi
chitchaya deha sakshibhi
sahajam karmajam bhranti
sahajam karmajam bhranti
janyam cha trividham kramat.
janyam cha tribidham kramat.
So here, now, what it is saying is that this ahankara, we said there is a tadatmyam. Tadatmyam means it is identifying with something else, which it is not, right? So it is identifying with three things. What are the three things it is identifying? Ahankarasya tadatmyam. It said it's identifying three things. Chitchaya, deha, sakshibhihi. So this chitchaya is the first one, deha is second, and sakshibhihi. Sakshi is third. So ahankara, the tadatmya, the ahankara is identifying itself with three things. Okay, one is reflected consciousness, and the body, and the pure consciousness. Sahajam, karmajam, bhrantijanyam, cha trividham kramat. So trividham kramat means there are three types. Kramat means sequentially. So what are the three types? First is called sahajam, second is called karmajam, and third is called bhrantijanyam. And these three are sequentially linked to three things that are said before. What are the three things that are said before? Chichaya, deha, sakshi. So three on left and three on right. Chichaya goes with sahajam. So chichaya and deha chichaya and ahankara is called as sahaja tadatmyam. If you take the second ones, okay, which is deha and karmajam, okay, that is deha, ahankara's identification with deha is called as karmajam tadatmyam. If you take sakshi and ahankara, that tadatmya is called as bhrantijanyam tadatmyam. So this is what it is saying. So it is identifying three types of ahankaras, three types of tadatmyata, meaning superimposition or misunderstanding, misidentification, and it is naming each of them. So what are those? Let us look at that. Okay. So now, first, ahankarasya tadatmyam, the tadatmyata, you know the word tadatmyata, right? Misidentification of ahankara with chitchaya. Chitchaya means the with the reflected consciousness is natural. Okay, it is called as sahajam. Sahajam means what? Did you ever hear the word sahajam in the past?
Yeah, it's like natural.
Natural, right? But
Yeah.
the definition of sahajam is an interesting one, is saha eva jayate. Saha eva jayate means they rise together. So that is intrinsically associated with each other. How is it? Because we are using the reflection example all the time, let us continue with the reflection example. When you go and look at in the mirror, when you go look in the mirror, you're always there in the mirror. Whenever you go in front of mirror, you are there in the mirror. Yes? There is no delay between you appearing in the mirror and then your image appearing in the mirror. You and your image appear together. Okay. Now, this is a little bit of a flaw in this example. When I say you go and look in a mirror. Now imagine a woman's pocket mirror. Okay. So you're not going somewhere, but you're opening this pocket mirror. As soon as you open the pocket mirror, are you in there or are you not in there? You are in there. So why I'm very specific about women's pocket mirror is the consciousness needs a reflecting medium. The moment there is a reflecting medium is there, its reflection is there in the mirror. Okay. So now if your reflection is Ahamkara, okay, if Ahamkara is your reflection, what happens? Whenever there is Ahamkara, you are already there. So Ahamkara and consciousness appears to be rising together. Yes? Ahamkara and consciousness, they appear to be rising together. The reality is consciousness is always there. Okay? Consciousness is always there. However, the reflection of consciousness is available as and when the mirror opens up. So, as and when Ahamkara opens up, reflection of consciousness is available. So, here the mirror is, Ahamkara is mirror, the reflecting surface is mirror, and the reflecting surface is Ahamkara, and Chit-Chaya is there, as and when Ahamkara arises. So now identification that, okay, I am the reflection of consciousness. This is one Tadatmyata. Any questions around this? Now, so this is a very automated process, and you can never have Ahamkara without Chit-Chaya. So you can never have a mirror without reflected consciousness. Okay, so that is why it is Sahajam. Now we also said second set. Ahamkara's Tadatmyata with Deha. This Ahamkarasya Tadatmyata with Deha is called as Karmaja Tadatmyata. Right? Karmajam. So Karmajam, karma means karmas, meaning results of our actions or karma phala. Jam means born of karma. So what happened? Our Sthula Sharira means our physical body. Our physical body is born because of our prarabdha karma. So Ahamkara has got a feeling that I am this body, right? That as long as it is there, as long as there is karma to be exhausted, meaning a karma phala has to be exhausted. Okay, so here we're kind of like going a little bit too much into it, so please pay attention. Okay, so in the second set, Deha and Ahamkara. Ahamkara is thinking that I am Deha. Why is it thinking? As long as Deha, the physical body, has to experience karmas, the results of previous actions, Ahamkara is going to identify. Now, when physical body doesn't need to experience any results of the karma, So that means what? Physical body goes to sleep. Okay. When physical body goes to sleep, Ahamkara is not identifying with that body anymore. Okay. Or Ahamkara, you can say either way. You can say that when when Ahamkara goes to sleep, physical body doesn't have Chaitanya. When physical body is not ready to experience any karmas now, means what? It is sleeping, then Ahamkara is not identifying with that body anymore. So, in the waking state, the Ahamkara is identifying with the body, saying that I am this body. Now, when this Ahamkara, when does this relationship between Ahamkara and body end? When prarabdha karma completely ends, the body falls off. So the relationship between this Ahamkara and I am the body, that also falls off. Whenever, on a daily basis, whenever the body goes into sleep, Ahamkara's identification with the body also goes away temporarily. Okay. So the first set is the relationship between Ahamkara and Chit Chaya, the reflected consciousness. The second set is the relationship between Ahamkara and Deha. Now comes the third one. So this third one is the relationship is between Ahamkara's Tadatmya with Sakshi. Sakshi means actual consciousness. Actual consciousness, now this is called as Bhranti Janya. Bhranti means delusion. It is based out of delusion. So, what does that mean? Is Ahamkara thinking that I am Sakshi. So, where I think that in layman terms, me as my Ahamkara, I'm thinking that I am the real self. Now, what happens is that when I go to sleep, who is going to sleep? Does my actual self goes to sleep or Ahamkara goes to sleep?
Ahamkara goes to sleep. Self will never sleep.
Self doesn't have these states. Self is free from the states of Jagrat, Swapna, Sushupti. Means it is not waking or sleeping or dreaming, nothing like that. It is always independent of these three states. It is only Ahamkara which has got that waking state, dreaming state, and sleeping state. So when it goes to sleep, actual self is not sleeping, right? But Ahamkara is thinking that I am self. That is mistake. To give an example, imagine like this, because we're talking about reflection as an example, right? Using the reflection as an example. If the mirror thinks that I am the reflection of a person in front of me, is it true?
True that mirror is the reflection of a person we are saying body, right?
Yeah. So if there is a mirror and there is a person standing in front of it, the mirror thinks that I am the reflection of this person. Even that itself is not true, because one person may go and another person may come.
Mhm.
Okay. But in this case, consciousness is always there. If this one thinks that I am the reflection of this consciousness, that is fine. Okay. That is first first Tadatmya, first mistake, which is fine. The second thing is that in the third example, the mirror is thinking that I am this consciousness, not just reflection, but I am this consciousness. Okay. And so when the mirror thinks that I am this consciousness, just because I'm reflecting it, and somehow I am the real one, and this doesn't exist. Okay. Because this, whatever the external thing is already in me, hence I am the real one. Okay. I am the original self. When that kind of a thought is there, that is a delusion. Okay, so this Ahamkara Tadatmyata with Sakshi is based upon delusion. Okay. Now, so each of these Tadatmyatas that are there, out of these three, first two are not a problem. If Ahamkara thinks that I am Chichaya, not a problem. It is a Sahaja Tadatmyata. If Ahamkara thinks that I am Deha, not a problem. It will end as soon as karmas are ended. But if Ahamkara thinks that I am Sakshi, that is the problem that we need to fix. And it is not like if, but this third one is the biggest problem. And this one also can be fixed through knowledge. Okay, so that we are going to see in the next week, in the next session. But also, like, we want to do a little bit more in terms of what is the implication of what we studied today. Okay, actually, we can also talk a little bit about it right now. Is that understand when I'm thinking that I am Venkat, who is thinking that I am Venkat? It is not the self, but the ego is thinking that I am Venkat. Number one. What is the problem with that? Is that me thinking that I am Venkat and I am the self, what is happening is that I am limiting my real nature into my real infinite nature into some finite thing. Remember, like in the beginning, we were talking about big World Trade Center kind of a building can be seen in a 2-inch mirror. So, in the same way, the vast expansive self, the vast expansive consciousness, which is Sat Chit Ananda Swarupa, Akhanda Rupa, which is all pervading, that somehow we are saying that it is all within, like we are taking a small portion of it, and somehow we are thinking that that's all it is. And once we establish a finite limitedness to this infinite, unlimited consciousness, now we enter into sorrow because now we are in finitude and we want to grow, 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 grow. And that is going to be very difficult. Okay? You can grow to a certain extent, but not beyond. And no matter how much you grow, it is still finite, and then it will cause sorrow. So now what we are trying to do is that this exercise in understanding this Ahamkara, what is this Ahamkara, what is this Chichaya, what is this Deha, what is this Sakshi, and how they are different from each other. When you are peeling them, separating them very carefully, okay, by separating them, what we are trying to get to is, I am not this body, I am not this Ahamkara. That thought has to come. Now, when I say I am not this Ahamkara, also it's an interesting thing. Even that is incorrect, right? Because who is saying I am not this Ahamkara? Think about it. If I say I am not my ego, who is saying this? I am not my ego.
Ego itself is saying that.
Ego itself is saying it because the self doesn't say anything. right? So this knowledge that we are learning is for who? Is for our ego. Our ego is going to learn what? I am not the self. I am just a matter. And then gives way to the real self. So that is the reason why we are saying this. So now for that, what is our starting point? Is whenever we get some thoughts, separate from our thoughts and say that, okay, so this is the thought that has come into my mind. This is not me. Okay. So as you are slowly separating, right? So when even as simple as when you get a headache, don't say I have a headache. Say that my body is experiencing a pain in my head. So like you don't have to say all of that to outsiders, but within your mind. When you start saying like that, you start separating what you are, like who you really are, from who you are not. Even when you have like a this is actually an interesting example, right? It's based on my personal example, is that once I went to a particular camp where I was asked to sit without any back support for 6 to 7 hours a day. And I was complaining. And I was complaining because like, okay, I need a chair or something. I need to rest my back. So then my instructor said, just pay attention where exactly the pain is. Oh, it's all over my back. No, next time when you get the pain, pinpoint the pain to yourself. So then it so happened that, oh, this whole back that I have pain, no, is it paining in this bar, like okay, maybe like 3 sections, right? 3 sections horizontally, 3 sections vertically. Is it hurting in my bottom left? No. How about bottom midpoint? No. Bottom right? No. Middle on the right? Ah, yes, a little bit. Here, no. So like that, once you start looking at, right, all of a sudden the intensity of the pain has reduced significantly, right? So it was an interesting thing is that even once you start, my point is not to about that, but as we start separating our body from us, our mind from us, our thoughts from us, and saying that, okay, this is not me, but it is something entering, and I see it, I acknowledge it, and I let it go. Once we start doing that on a day-to-day basis, then our things won't affect us in a negative way at all. A negative or even a positive way for that matter, to a larger extent that they are currently impacting us today. Okay. And all of this knowledge that this Drg Drsya Viveka is saying is how to separate. I am the seer. Everything else around me is seen. Okay. So to that aspect, that is the most central theme of this text. Any questions?
No.
So shall we close for the day?
Yeah.
Oh. पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते ॐ शान्तिः हरिः ओं श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः हरिः ओं. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Happy